Patriots Nation, rise and shine, because the New England Patriots at about 10 in the morning here are making moves just a day before their Week 11 matchup at home against the Los Angeles Rams. And it's a pretty big one because they are releasing former 2022 second-round pick Tyquan Thornton. You heard that right. It's not injured reserve. It's not a trade like we all speculated a few weeks ago. He is just being straight up cut with still another about a year and a half left on that rookie contract. This is official, by the way. This is coming from Adam Schefter himself, stating Patriots are releasing 2022 second-round pick Tyquan Thornton per source. And my initial thoughts straight off the bat are, I understand why they made this move. The Patriots are carrying currently 7 wide receivers on their active roster. They were only 3 teams in the entire NFL to do so. And I think we are clearly seeing why most teams are not carrying that many wide receivers. Why? Because not all of those guys are able to get on the field. It's kind of messing with that continuity. It's messing with the locker room a little bit because you're trying to play everybody all at the same time, but there's not enough bodies to get on the field. And Tyquan Thornton has been a guy who several times this season has been a healthy scratch because they cannot get all of these wide receivers onto the field. And originally, I thought that they would keep 7 wide receivers. Now, that was the smart move, because I was someone who was under the assumption they were going to run a lot of 13 personnel this season under Alex Van Pelt, looking at the West Coast offense that he was going to try to implement. But the Patriots, they really haven't done that. They haven't ran as much 13 personnel as I originally expected. They're still running a lot of 12 personnel. They are really utilizing Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper a lot together. These veteran tight ends that can work up in the middle of the field in between the numbers, which is where Drake Maye operates very, very well. And you look at the outcast. I mean, what wide receiver what was going to be on the outside looking in for the Patriots? Well, we know it's not going to be Kendrick Bourne. We know that they like KJ Osborne. He signed to a 1-year deal. Supposedly, they tried to trade him at the trade deadline. That doesn't happen. You feel more confident in KJ Osborne's ability than Tyquan Thornton's. You're not going to cut Kayshon Boutte. You're not cutting DeMario Douglas. You're not going to cut either of the wide receivers you just drafted in this past year's draft with Jalen Polk and Javon Baker. And it was just very, very obvious that Tyquan Thornton was going to be that guy on the outside looking in. But he did still have, or does rather still have, about another year and a half still left on that rookie deal. So if I'm the Patriots, I actually would have waited on this move. I would have waited to the end of the season, see if you could have possibly gotten anything for Tyquan Thornton. A 7th-round pick, a conditional 7th-round pick. I think teams would have been more willing to do so in the offseason when there's new head coaches, there's new systems being put in place. Maybe a team gets a little interested and they throw you maybe a conditional 7th-round pick, or they just do a pick swap. Hey, I'll trade you my 7th-round pick for your 7th-round pick, and the Patriots, they move up a few spots at the very least. I'm not saying you would get a whole lot for Tyquan Thornton, and I do believe that the Patriots have tried. I do believe they tried at the trade deadline to trade Tyquan, but there was also reported interest from teams. So I don't think that the Patriots were held bent to make this move. So it does confuse me. Again, I understand they did need to release somebody from that wide receiver room, and Tyquan was the guy on the outside looking in. But I don't believe that this was a move they had to make. And at the very least, they could have went into the offseason with another body and a guy that maybe, just maybe, they potentially could have gotten as a trade piece. What this move does tell me, though, is the fact that the Patriots are going to try to bring someone back. They are not just releasing Tyquan Thornton just to release Tyquan Thornton for fun. They're doing this because somebody on the roster had to move to free up a roster spot. This is either going to be to bring back one of 2 players. This is either to bring back Alex Austin, or this is to bring back Christian Barmore. One of those guys is going to be activated, and again, that is why this move is being made. But I go ahead and I go look over at this contract here for Tyquan Thornton, and it's very manageable. And that's also why I don't think the Patriots should have jumped on this move right away. For the remainder of 2024, He does have an overall cap number of $1.9 million. The Patriots here will take on about $577,000 in dead money, while putting on about $1.3 million in cap savings. For 2025, he has a overall cap number of $2.2 million, and both this year and next year, he is going to have zero guaranteed money. And because Thornton is still a rookie, he does have to go through waivers because he's being released. I do believe that if he somehow does clear waivers, that he will be reverted back to the Patriots practice squad. And honestly, I would love that. I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. We have to keep in mind, too, that when Tyquan Thornton was drafted in 2022, he was coming into a Bill Belichick system that, let's be honest, they kind of ruined the development of this kid a little bit. In 2022, and we'll get into his stats here in a minute, but in 2022, he actually looked good. He showed some promise, but he started 2022 late into training camp with injury. Same thing happened there in 2023. This was the first offseason where Tyquan Thornton in training camp didn't get injured. He had all offseason, both in training camp, in the preseason. He was ready for the regular season, and that's why we thought maybe he could take the jump. But in every single season that Tyquan has been here since 2022, he has been in a new system. He has had a new offensive coordinator every single year. He now is in a completely new system, going from Bill Belichick now to Jerod Mayo, which has messed with his development significantly. So while I'm not saying that he would have popped off for the New England Patriots and lived up to the expectations on where he was drafted, what I am saying is that he did show promise when he first got here. He was a second-round pick overall for a reason, although I do believe it was a bit of a reach. And I do think that the Patriots could have gotten more out of him if maybe they just did right by him a little bit more. Now, if a team does decide to claim him off of waivers, they are also taking on that rookie contract that he has too. Like I said, we just went through it. Very, very affordable, and it has still the rest of this season and 2025 on it. It wouldn't surprise me if a team is interested in bringing him on. The fact that there were teams interested in trading for him at the trade deadline shows me that there is interest by teams. And I wonder if those teams looked at the Patriots situation and said, I ain't giving up anything for this dude, because it's very clear that you're not playing him by making him a healthy scratch every single week, and it's only a matter of time before you release him. I'm going to put my bets on being able to claim him as a waiver claim. I mean, 6'3", he ran a 4.28 40-yard dash. Tyquan Thornton has this unique combination of both size and speed that if any team in the NFL can somehow put these intangibles together for him, he is going to be a difference maker in the NFL. But so far, 3 different offensive coordinators and a completely new system haven't been able to do that for Tyquan up until this point. And we go over here and we look at his stats. Can I try to blow this up for you guys maybe a little bit more? Go on over here. But in 2022, he plays in 13 games. He started in 9 of them. Like we mentioned, dealt with injury problems early on in the season, so started his rookie year on IR, but he was targeted 45 times. That was the most in his NFL career so far. 22 receptions, 247 yards, 11.2 yards on average, 2 touchdowns. Got it going a little bit in the rushing attack, too. They gave him some jet sweeps. 3 attempts, 16 yards, and a touchdown. Again, didn't live up to the expectations on where he was drafted in the top 50 as a second-round pick in the 2022 draft, but you said it's something that you can build on. Then in 2023, same instance happens where he gets injured early on, and we don't see him much. Only appears in 9 games, starts in just 3 of them, targeted 23 times, 13 receptions, 91 total yards, and again, some opportunities on the ground. Another 3 attempts, 51 total yards, and a touchdown. So far, here in 2024, he's played in 6 games, starts in 1 of them, targeted 8 times, 4 receptions for 47 yards, and 0 touchdowns. On the ground, Patriots haven't exactly given him a lot of opportunities, which that's surprising to me. I do think that Tyquan Thornton is a gadget piece, someone you kind of want to use all over your formation. Give him some rushing opportunities, get him into space, because that is where he is best utilized. And, maybe the Patriots haven't found the best ways this season to get him going. But statistically, again, with different offensive coordinators, he has just dropped off in terms of production. And the biggest problem with Tyquan, has been his hands. He gets open Okay, whether it's been Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi, Drake Maye, Jacoby Brissett, these guys are giving him opportunities. They're giving him the ball, and in wide open situations, he just cannot either one, run the right route, two, get on the same page with his quarterback, or three, the easiest part, and simply catch the ball. This was a guy that in college was really, really good despite his, overall size, very, very thin frame, inability to put on size, muscle, weight, was really good at working through contact. Now, this guy couldn't catch a pass against my grandma. And unfortunately, this just adds to another infamously bad draft by Bill Belichick. And everybody's saying, oh, but Bill Belichick drafted Gonzo and Bill Belichick drafted this guy and that guy. It's not to say Belichick never had good moments in the draft, but when you have drafts like 2022, like 2019, like even if you look at 2020, that is a big reason why Bill Belichick's not here. And I love Belichick. But again, people trying to make the argument that he did have, or rather was good at drafting, you just simply can't get past this. You look at this 2022 draft class, Cole Strange, I would say he's a bust for where he was picked. I still think he can be a good player, but definitely was not worth the 29th overall pick in the first round. Tyquan Thornton picked with the 50th overall pick. You traded up for him in the second round. If you guys go back and you look at the video that I made when the Patriots drafted him, I didn't love the selection, but I said, all right, size, speed, I trust you, Bill Belichick. Let's see what happens. You suck at drafting receivers early on, and now Tyquan just joins that pack. I mean, they drafted Tyquan over George Pickens, and it's just a majority of very, very good players that worked out in the NFL. They did draft Marcus Jones, who Marcus Jones was actually a good player. He still is a good player. Might only be their actual good pick in this draft. Jack Jones looked like he was going to be good, but they end up releasing him because of character issues. Pierre Strong never saw the field. Bailey Zappi, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Would you say that Bailey Zappi was a bust? I mean, fourth round pick. He started for you in 2022. He started for you in 2023. I know he's still not here, but for what he is, a fourth round quarterback, I actually feel like he served his purpose for the most part. But Kevin Harris hasn't done anything, been a practice squatter. Sam Roberts hasn't done anything. He's not even here. And Chasen Hines, the guard, never really got an opportunity and is just kind of floating around the NFL. Overall, for me, the move isn't surprising. It's the timeline in which they are making the move that, for me, is a bit surprising because really they didn't have to do it. But this is where I kick it to you guys. What are your thoughts on this move? Do you want to see Tyquan Thornton back on the Patriots practice squad, him have some opportunities heading into the offseason? Let me know in the comment section below. As for what this means for the offense moving forward, I don't think things change a whole lot. They're still going to want to play Austin Hooper. They're still going to want to play Hunter Henry. They're still going to have an issue getting all six wide receivers onto the field at the same time. But maybe this means we're not constantly seeing a wide receiver being a healthy scratch every single week. I do still think they're going to have issues getting guys on the field and getting everybody snaps. We've seen that. They benched KB last week for KJ Osborne. Sounds like they're going to swap that again and now give it to KB over KJ Osborne. So hopefully this creates a little bit more wiggle room overall for the wide receivers. But like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video on your way out and subscribe to the channel for all your New England Patriots news. I appreciate you guys for watching. And as always, go Pats.